The course menu appears on the left side of your course window and is the cornerstone for the organization and navigation of your course. You create links on the course menu to present tools and materials to users. You can customize its appearance and the order of links. Control panel. The area below the course menu is your access point for course management functions such as access to course tools, the Grade Center, course enrollment, and course settings. Students don't see the control panel. Student preview. In the upper right-hand corner of the course, click this icon to enter the student preview. Here you can review course content and validate course behaviors from a student's perspective. You are logged in with a student account, the preview user account, and enrolled into the current course. When you are finished, you have the option to remove the student account and all of its created data, or keep the student account enrolled in the course. Also in the upper right-hand corner is the Edit Mode button. When Edit Mode is on, all of the instructor functions appear, such as the build content or the appearance of menus. When Edit Mode is off, all instructor functions are hidden. Keep Edit Mode off when presenting your course to students. Inside of Content sections, you'll have access to the Content menu. In one or more rows above the content, access page-level functions such as build content, search, delete, and upload. These functions change based on where you are in your course. Menus. An option menu appears for components with menus such as content items, course menu links, or Grade Center columns. The options in the menu vary based on the component. The course menu appears in a list view, which displays only the top level of course materials. Create an uncluttered course menu to maintain efficient navigation for your users, and try to limit the number of links included in the course menu. Use content areas to hold related items and give your course organization and structure. Select the Add Menu item above the course menu to open the menu. Select the type of content to create and type a name. Complete any other required text boxes, such as URL for a web link. For this example, we're creating a link to the Contacts tool called Instructor Profile. Select the Available to Users checkbox if you're ready for students to see it. You can create content ahead of time, hide the link, and then show the link at the appropriate time. Select Submit. A new link to the content appears in the course menu. There are several different types of content and tools you can add to your course menu. You can also include subheader and divider lines to help you visually organize links for your students. Select the Add Menu item icon above the course menu to open the menu. Your first option is a content area. Content areas are top-level course areas that hold all of your course materials. You create, link, and manage them on the course menu. After you create a content area, you add content to it, such as online lectures, multimedia, test, and communication tools. A module page is a specialized content page that presents content in boxes, such as the course homepage. Students can keep track of tasks, tests, assignments, and new content created in the course. You can't add your own content to a module page. The system generates the information in each module. Blank page. In a blank page, you can include files, images, and text together on one page. With the editor, you have creative control over how your content appears and the flexibility to change the order and appearance when you want. Tool link. Create a link to an available tool in your course, such as the Calendar or Journals tool. You can also create a link to the Tools page. In our first example, we've created a link to the Contacts tool and retitled it Instructor Profile. A web link is a link to any outside website or resource. A course link is a shortcut to an item, tool, or area in your course for quick access to relevant materials. The subheader is unlinked text that allow you to group related links below a subheader to help students find information. And finally, the divider line is a line that visually divides the course menu into sections. After you create a divider, you can move it into another position. To reorganize your course menu, hover over the item you wish to move and select the arrow on the left-hand side. Then, drag it in the order you wish for it to appear. If you'd like to hide one of your sections in your menu, click the drop-down arrow next to the section and click Hide Link. You'll notice it has the Hidden from Students icon next to it. To unhide it, simply click the drop-down menu again and click Show Link. You also have the option to rename a link if you'd prefer a different name. Click the green check mark to save any changes. In your Blackboard courses content area, you can add a variety of content such as online lectures, multimedia, tests, assignments, and links to websites. You can also rename this section if you'd like. In a content section, you can utilize a learning module or a content folder to help organize your course materials as shown here. A learning module is a content container that allows students to navigate through the material using a table of contents. Instructors can add content items using any of the Build Content menus here. Let me turn edit mode off to show you what it looks like from a student's view. Learning modules present each content item to the student, and the student chooses when to proceed to the next item. Students can use the table of contents on the left to jump between content items, or the instructor can enforce the student follow the sequential order. Because these content items in a learning module load individually, statistics tracking, when enabled, can accurately track student activity in the course. Let me turn edit mode back on to get my instructor functions back. Content folders are a type of container that you can use to organize content. After you create a folder, you can add content and additional subfolders to it. Students can select any of the items and do not need to follow a sequential order. When I turn edit mode off, you'll see that all content items load immediately in a content folder. Because these items all load at the same time, statistics tracking does not work for content items placed in a content folder. Now let's walk through creating each one of these containers and their associated options. To add a learning module, hover over the Build Content menu and scroll down and click Learning Module. Type a name and optional description. In the Learning Module Options area, you select whether students will view the learning module's content in sequence. If you enforce sequential viewing, students must view the content in the prescribed order. In the Standard Options area, you can make the module available to students by checking Yes next to the Permit Users to View This Content option, or check No to make the content unavailable to your students. Turn on Statistics Tracking by selecting Yes next to Track Number of Views. Otherwise, leave it set to No and Statistics Tracking will be disabled. You can control when students are able to view this content by adding date and time restrictions. Adding a display after date will cause the content to become available at this time. Adding a display until date will cause the content to become unavailable at this time. If you do not add any date and time restrictions, the content will follow the general availability here. In the Table of Contents area, you can determine if students will see the Table of Contents. You can select which labels to use for the Table of Contents: numbers, letters, mixed or Roman numerals, or none. If you select none, the items aren't labeled. Now click Submit to create the learning module. To add a content folder, hover over the Build Content menu and scroll over and click Content Folder. Type a name and an optional description. In the Standard Options area, you have access to the availability settings, the statistics tracking, and the date and time restrictions. When you're ready, click Submit to create the content folder. Now that we've covered organizing your course content using learning modules and content folders, let's take a look at creating content items and uploading documents and files. Use items and files to upload and present your content. You can utilize an item when you would like to present a combination of content such as text, media, and attached files. You can utilize a file when you would like to create a link to a file. You can't add a description with a file link, so you want to be sure to use a meaningful title, such as syllabus. Remember, students need to download some file types such as Word documents to view the contents, while other file types such as PDFs can open in the browser window. Now, let's walk through creating an item and a file. Select the Build Content menu and scroll down, click on Item. Add a name, and then you can use the functions in the text editor to format your text. If you're pasting from another source, we recommend removing the formatting before you paste it. You can attach files or photos within the text by using the Add Content, Insert Local Files button. In the Attachments area, you can use the Browse Local Files button to upload any files from your computer. Or you can use the Browse Cloud Service button to sign into your cloud service account, for example Google Drive, and select a file to attach from there. In the Standard Options area, we have access to the availability settings, statistics tracking, and date and time restrictions. When you're ready, click the Submit button to add the item to the content section. Now let's create a file. Select the Build Content menu, scroll down, and click File. Add a name. And remember, you can't add a description to a file link, so you want to be sure to use a meaningful name. Next, select Browse Local Files to upload a file from your computer. In the File Options area, you can choose if you want the file to open in a new window if possible. Otherwise, the file will download onto the student's device. In the Standard Options area, we have the same access to the availability settings, statistics tracking, and date and time restrictions. When you're ready, click the Submit button to add the file to the Content section. You can also upload different types of multimedia by selecting Build Content and then clicking on Audio, Image, or the Video buttons. You can create a link to a website outside of Blackboard by selecting the Web Link button. You can embed YouTube videos by clicking the YouTube Video button and searching for the title of the video you wish to add. Click on Select to select the video. Type in an optional description. In the mashup options, select how you want the video to be embedded: thumbnail, text link with a player, or embed the video into the course. In the attachments area, you can attach a file, and in the standard options area, we have access to the availability settings, statistics tracking, and the date and time restrictions. Select Submit to embed the video. Each one of these content items has its own unique set of options for embedding in your course, so pay close attention to each set of settings. When uploading files to your course, it's important to remember that each Blackboard course has a total size limit of 2.5 gigabytes, and each course also has a single file size limit of 300 megabytes. Which means Blackboard will not allow you to upload a file larger than 300 megabytes. To link to a large file, first, upload your file to your Google Drive account. Then, get the share link and set up any access restrictions. Click Copy Link to copy the link, and finally, add a web link to your course and enter the share link information in the URL box. Click Submit to add the link to your menu. With assignments, you can create coursework and manage the grades and feedback for each student separately. You can create assignments in content areas, learning modules, and folders. Let's take a look at setting up an assignment. From the Assessments menu, select Assignment. Provide the name, instructions, and any files the students might need to complete the assignment. Optionally, select a due date. Assignments with due dates automatically show up in the course calendar and in the To-Do module. Submissions are accepted after this date but are marked late. If you don't want students accessing an assignment after the due date, choose the appropriate display dates. In the grading section, type the points possible. Optionally, add a rubric. Under the Submission Details menu, you can set up a group assignment and release it to one or more groups. You can also set up the number of attempts students get: single attempt, multiple attempts, or unlimited attempts. Select the checkbox next to the Plagiarism Tools section to submit your students' attempts to SafeAssign, Blackboard's plagiarism checker. Click the Blackboard Help link in the description for more information. Under the Grading Options menu, you can enable anonymous or delegated grading. Under the Display of Grades menu, you can set up the grade column options such as display grade, including it in the Grade Center calculations, and if it's visible to students or not. And finally, select the appropriate options for availability, tracking, and your display dates. Click Submit to add the assignment to the content section. When you create an assignment, a Grade Center column is created automatically. From the Grade Center or Needs Grading page, you can see who has submitted their work and start grading. Students access their grades from the My Grades pages or the assignment's Review Submission History page. Now let's take a look at grading an assignment. You can start grading on the Needs Grading page or in the full Grade Center. To access these grading links, click on the Grade Center link in the Course Management area located underneath your course menu to expand the grading information. It's important to remember that the Needs Grading page only shows you student attempts that need grading, while the full Grade Center shows you all graded, ungraded, and manually entered student attempts. From the Needs Grading page, click on the student's name to open up their assignment in the Grade Assignment page. Alternatively, you can click on the Options arrow next to the assignment name and select Grade All Users or Grade with User Names Hidden options to open up all the submitted attempts for that assignment at one time. From the full Grade Center, navigate to the assignment's grade column and select the Options arrow next to the student's attempt. Notice that the Needs Grading icon appears in the student's cell when they have an attempt that needs grading. Alternatively, you can click the Options arrow for the assignment title or the column header, and then click Grade Attempts or Grade with Usernames Hidden to open up all the submitted attempts for that assignment at one time. On the Grade Assignment page, you can view, comment on, and grade student submitted assignment files. In the Assignment Details panel on the right, click on the Attempt box to type in the score, and also to expand the Feedback to Learner section where you can leave feedback for your student. If a student submits any of the supported file types, shown here, you can view and annotate directly over these types of files. Starting on the left, this menu includes options to pan, zoom, and adjust the fit of the page. Then you can use the drawing tools, including drawing, brush, and eraser, the insert an image or insert a stamp tool, the Add a Comment option, the Undo and Redo buttons, and add a text box. Lastly, we have our Line tool, which also includes arrow, rectangle, ellipse, polygon, and polyline. Lastly, the Print button, the Download with Annotations button, the Search Document button, and the Content Library button. The Content Library allows you to create and save a bank of reusable comments. You can highlight text by selecting specific portions of the submission. As you highlight the text, an additional menu appears and allows you to highlight, strike through, underline, squiggle, or comment on the highlighted section. Once you've completed grading, you can click OK at the bottom of the page to navigate to the next submission. Otherwise, you can click Exit, and that'll take you back to the full grade center.